Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. For the new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. For the viewers, thank you for clicking this video. So in today's video guys, I'm going to be showing you guys where to look for reversals in the forex charts, man. So guys, let's jump straight into it, man. So when it comes to looking for reversals guys, you have to watch out for this three areas. Number one is going to be the supply zone. Number two is going to be a demand zone, and then number three is going to be a significant daily support or resistance area. Now guys, if you do not know what a demand zone is, I'm going to keep this very simple. A demand zone is essentially an area where price reached before buying up dramatically, right? And also a supply zone is essentially where an area reached before selling dramatically. So guys, when it comes to identifying what a demand and supply zone is, it's very simple. So for a supply zone, like I said, it's going to be an area where price comes and then sells dramatically. So right here is a nice supply zone because price came and then sold dramatically. Nice. An area to here is going to be a nice supply zone. And if you can notice in your charts, you're seeing that price is actually reacting off of these zones, right? And as you can see, another zone too where price came, reach that area before selling dramatically. That would be a supply zone. And then also a demand zone would be areas where price came before buying up dramatically. So for example, this area here could be a nice demand zone, this area here could be a nice demand zone, and also this area here could be a nice demand zone. Now guys, when it comes to using your demand zones, you have to understand guys, the way I trade is I trade in the New York session only, and I trade just the Nasdaq 100. And the reason I'm doing this is because guys, this helps me limit my losses and really maximize my wins, because at the end of the day guys, I am making less decisions and I'm making more money in that sense, right? So now the reason why you would want to look for this support and resistance zones in the daily time frame, and also your supply and demand zones, is because guys, these zones help you either for holding your trades for a longer period of time, or to even pull out of your trade when you see that price has reached a significant area, right? So let me give you an example in the charts right now. Now guys, when it comes to looking for your reversal areas, this is the philosophy I use for supply and demand zones, right? If you're going to look for reversals in the supply zones, make sure that specific time frame is bullish. If you're going to look for reversals in a demand zone, make sure that specific time frame is bearish, right? So for example, here we have Nasdaq in the 4-hour time frame. Notice that I'm going to give you two areas here. This right here is going to be a supply zone because price came and then sold dramatically, right? And then this area here is going to be another supply zone, right? I'm going to show you two different areas, and as you can see, one of them worked out to sell and then the other did not work out to sell, and I will show you exactly why, one failed and the other actually passed. Now guys, when it comes to looking for your areas, right, like I said, once you look for your areas, all you have to do right now is go to the 1-hour time frame to look for your entry signals. So this is how you look for the right supply and demand zones to use, right? Because at the end of the day guys, if you can trade in one session, it's going to limit the decisions you make, right? So for example, in this area here, price came to this 4-hour supply zone here, and as you can see, it did not reverse, rather it broke and then continued buying. But then in this area here, price came, reached this area, and then for some reason it was just creating wicks before then now reversing. Now the reason why it reversed is because of a lot of reasons. Number one is guys, it reached a supply zone, number one, a significant supply zone, which is the 4-hour time frame. Number two, it gave you a nice price action signal, which is a bearish engulfing. And then number three guys is because we are in session, New York session, right, which is the best session to trade the Nasdaq 100. So with all these confluences, there obviously a lot of reasons why price would sell the way it sold in this particular area here. So in this case here, if you were to break this price action down, you would notice that price gave you buy signals, right? It gave you a nice bullish engulfing here, but then in the next hour it gave you a bearish engulfing before selling, right? So obviously guys, it's going to be hard for you to take trades because price can give you the same signal with two different setups, right? It can give you a bearish signal and also a bullish signal, but at the end of the day guys, you still have to make the right decision, right? So in this case here, the right decision here was a sell. Now, in this area here, price came to that area, and then guess what happened? Price broke out, and it was also in session too. So if I was to open the session candle, it was also in session. Now, the reason why price broke out was because, guys, once price reached that area, it never gave you any signal to sell, right? So I'm currently in an actual trade right now, right? And as you can see, I'm currently holding my trade. Now you might ask yourself, okay, why am I holding this trade? I'm holding this trade because, you know, price has to reach a destination, and that destination is going to be the supply zone in the 4-hour time frame, which is marked up right here. So if I scroll to the left, you will see that this is a supply zone right here, right? If I turn off this is a supply zone in the 4-hour time frame, and I've extended it to the right. So all I'm waiting for is for price to literally just, you know, tap that zone, and then I'll either pull out or take partials or keep holding. But it really depends on the price action signal it gives you. Now, when it comes to looking for reversals in a demand zone, you have to understand how price moves, right? Because at the end of the day, guys, you have to know how price moves, man, right? So in this particular case here, once price reached this significant area right here, if now, guys, you know, this particular setup doesn't work 100% of the time, because at the end of the day, man, this is a supply zone. Price came and then obliterated it. It even gave you a nice bearish signal, but again, guys, it's a fake out, and the price continued to buy up, right? So obviously it's all probabilities, but at the end of the day, guys, you have to understand and know where to use it, right? This now boils down to experience at the end of the day. But guys, if you notice again, price came to this area and then sold. The reason it sold was because, again, we had this 4-hour supply zone here, right? And not just a 4-hour supply zone, we actually had a daily significant support and resistance, which is right here. So like I told you guys, I like to color code my things, right? And the blue signifies the daily time frame, the yellow signifies the 4-hour time frame, and then the white signifies the 1-hour time frame. So in this particular case here, there was this daily, you know, support right here, which turned to resistance. As you can see, price came here, tested here, tested here also, and then of course it came back to retest. And what do you expect? Price obviously sold. Now all you had to do was just wait for your price action signal. So if you were to turn on the New York session indicator and then come to that particular place, if you notice, price did give you a lot of like consolidation, but the entry signal in this particular case would be this bearish engulfing. Now of course, if you had experience, you understand that when a bearish engulfing happens, there's a high chance that price will retrace at least 50% of the time before then now continuing the actual move. So in this case here, price did retrace like 80% of the time before, you know, selling. So in all honesty, guys, your first entry would have been here, and then stop loss above this daily significant, you know, support and resistance, and then your second entry would have been anywhere around this area here, right? This is not gambling. This is straight up price action, right? Even also, let's assume you did not even enter here, you would have waited for the next day, and price still gave you a nice entry signal here, which is this tweezer bottom, and then also a false harami breakout, which is my favorite, you know, price action signal to take, because guys, with this particular price action signal, literally, guys, you can use a very small stop loss and then, you know, get a bang for your buck. But yeah, this is essentially how supply and demand zones work. And then also here, guys, in this area here, price came to this area and then reversed. The reason it reversed is because, number one, we have this daily significant support / resistance zone, and then also if you go to the 4-hour time frame, you will notice that price actually gave you a nice shooting star as a price action signal right here, right? So all these confluences build up your bias when it comes to, you know, making a decision. And also, guys, if you notice, the most common quote we have is what? Buy low, sell high. So in this case here, if you drew your trend line, you would understand that this is a low, and obviously you're going to buy from the low, and then of course sell from the high. So let me break down this current trade I am in right now. In this particular trade, guys, price was bullish, as you can see, right? All I had to do was literally just go to the left, turn off this New York session, go to the left right here, and then looked for my supply zone. So in this case here, this was a nice supply zone because price from this area sold dramatically. And not just a supply zone, guys, it's also a strong support and resistance. So if you notice here, I kind of extended this bar to this area here just to kind of give it more, you know, value, give it more significance, because, you know what I mean, like supply zones that respect break and retest is very, very, very high in probability when it comes to your setups, right? So this is the reason why I actually took a buy from here. And then if you notice, guys, the signal here was my favorite signal, which is going to be the inside bar false breakout. If you notice, guys, price came, the first candle right here, was a nice candle. The second candle was inside the previous candle, which gives you that false breakout setup. And then the next candle gave you a price action signal, which is a shooting star, and the rest was history. And I literally took the buys up to this area right here. And when it comes to where I'm going to take my TP, I'm looking to take my TP either in this zone here or this blue line, which is going to be the daily trend line, right? Because if you go to the daily time frame, you will notice that price is kind of bearish right here, and then also at this blue zone here. So at the end of the day, guys, you can't really know where price will reverse from, but you can build your confluences, right? So in this case here, the confluence that we had in the 4-hour time frame here was, number one, price was, you know, I mean, was at a high. Number two, we had a supply zone that price reached. Number three, in the 4-hour time frame, price gave you a bearish signal. Number four, in the 1-hour time frame, price gave you also a bearish signal, right? And then also, you know, the last confluence is price was in session, right? So this is exactly why I only trade one session and only one pair. But I'm going to make a separate video on why I do this, because, guys, I've been around the block, bro. Like, I've literally traded 20 pairs at the same time, 10 pairs, 2 pairs, and, guys, I've come to decide that I'm only going to trade one pair, because that's just me, man. You feel me? But yeah, guys, this is essentially how you look for, you know, where to look for your reversals, right? Like I said, guys, when it comes to looking for, and also when it comes to looking for your daily significant zones, really, guys, it really boils down to how many times did the price react from that area. So in this case here, I actually found this significant daily support zone. Literally, if I was to replay this real quick, right? If you notice right here, price tested this area here, tested this area here, and then also like tested this area, these two areas here. So this was why I made this a significant daily, you know, support / resistance zone. And as you can see, price came, sold, and then reacted off that zone, and then bought to where it's currently at right now. So this is essentially, guys, where you look for your reversal point. Did I really miss any? I don't think I really missed anything. But overall, guys, when it comes to looking for, your reversals, if you're going to look for reversals in a supply zone, make sure that time frame is bullish. If you're going to look for reversals in a demand zone, make sure that time frame is bearish. And then the importance of you know, marking up your demand and supply zone is to know where you're going to take your profits, to know where you're holding to, and to know where you might actually pull out or find your entry, right? Like I said, guys, I actually did find my entry right here in the 1-hour time frame using the 1-hour supply. Price gave a really nice double top with a nice bullish engulfing, a nice false breakout, so many confluences, and the rest was history. If you notice here, price did buy a little bit up here and then created this tall wick and then sold back down. But, guys, psychology, man. At the end of the day, guys, you still have to hold. Right now, price looks like it wants to sell. It might sell, who knows? But, guys, I'm going to keep holding till price reaches this yellow area here. Really that simple, guys. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.